It's Yaga Lake! There's so much to do here! 10 thrilling coasters! An incredible water park! 2 play areas just for kids! And a new water ski show! If you're looking for fun, you'll find me at Yaga Lake. It's gonna be fun. June bonus days are almost over, and you've got only 1 week to deal at your Chrysler and Jeep dealer. Until June 30th, get 0% financing on PT Cruiser, Pacifica, Grand Cherokee, and Liberty, and make no monthly payments till 05. Or choose a cash allowance and get $1,000 on the new 05 Town & Country. Plus, finance through Chrysler Financial and get an additional $1,000 bonus cash for up to $4,500 in total cash allowances on select models. So hurry in during June bonus days. You've only got 1 week to deal.
I was about to try new Herbal Essences Rainforest flowers when suddenly, I was taken to a place no shampoo had taken me before. At once, I was immersed in ylang-ylang, ginger, passion flower. I sensed I was not alone. Then, letting my hair down in a cascade of radiance, the pure silk of it made him cry out.
Honey, where are my socks?
In your drawer, next to your loincloth.
New Herbal Essences Rainforest Flowers. And now, the Oral-B Hummingbird Flosser. Hummingbird vibrates. Flossing is easier and feels really good.
Yeah, baby.
It even comes with a flexible pick. Oral-B Hummingbird, the new buzz in flossing.
All spring you work to get your lawn thick and green, and then along comes summer and the brown patches. Hi, I'm Ashton Ritchie with the Scotts Company. Don't just blame the summer heat. It's also insects, bugs you can't even see, eating your lawn alive. The solution? Scotts Turf Photo with Summer Guard. It eliminates lawn-damaging insects. Plus, it greens up your lawn with a special summer fertilizer made for even the hottest months. Scotts Turf Photo with Summer Guard. Put it down this weekend for your best summer lawn ever. Guaranteed.
That's me and my sister. Nice chance, huh? She got skin cancer last year. Every 5 minutes, another woman is diagnosed with skin cancer. And now I use this Coppertone Ultra Sheer sunscreen every day.
Coppertone. Get smart about the sun.
You stink.
Flood warning is in effect for Allegheny, Butler, and Washington.
Live pinpoint Doppler 4 showing cloud-to-ground lightning strikes right now through portions of Allegheny.
We're following a violent spring storm. Watch for flash flooding north of Pittsburgh. Clouds on the increase. There's a storm on the move from Ohio. Live pinpoint Doppler 4 tracking.
Watch for high winds, lightning, and flooding rains.
Don't worry, we'll continue to track this storm all night and bring you the latest information.
If you go out tonight, exercise caution, especially in low-lying areas.
In the morning with remoldable Physique Precision Wax, your hair is wow. By the evening, without Physique, your hair is yikes. With Physique Precision Wax, you get hair that's extremely remoldable. Try doing that with gel. So it lasts 8 hours longer than leading salon gels. Longer lasting style with flexible, remoldable Physique Precision Wax. Part of the hair care collection from Physique.
You know, Volkswagen's built for the Autobahn.
Oh, yeah.
The Jet is built to perform at higher speeds, so it's solid.
Yeah, solid.
Really holds the road. We might want to... next one's fine. Yeah, so let's just... Getting hungry?
Want to find out what makes a Volkswagen a Volkswagen? Come drive it. You'll get it.
Ty and Clinton Secrets and Inside Michael's Locked Closet next ET.
Next on Ebert and Roper, big summer movie. Anchorman.
Storming your castle on my steed, milady.
Be lovely.
Showing off.
The Clearing.
It stinks seeing your life fall apart.
Before Sunset.
I remember that night better than I do entire years.
Two Brothers.
Lady.
And White Chicks.
Whatever.
I call upon all nations to do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers. Thank you. Now watch this drive.
That's part of maybe the most talked about documentary ever made, Fahrenheit 9/11, which opens this weekend. We're going to take another look at that film, and we'll also take another look at Spider-Man 2. This show is so jam-packed, we better get started. I'm Roger Ebert.
And I'm Richard Roper. Once again, we've got the early reviews on some of the big movies of the summer, including our first film, Anchorman. And who better than Will Ferrell to play Ron Burgundy, a pompous, clueless, but weirdly charming San Diego anchor in the 70s. Now, Ferrell is a unique comic talent who somehow manages to endear us to the dim-witted, lumpy-bodied, socially inept doofuses he plays in films such as Old School and Elf. This broad satire isn't quite as funny as those two efforts. I'd say the laugh ratio is about 50%, but that's still pretty good.
You have your ubulus muscle that connects to the upper dorsimus. It's boring, but it's part of my life. I'm just going to grab this shirt if you don't mind. Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Christina Applegate is a game comedic foil. She's kind of doing the Cameron Diaz role here as Veronica Corningstone, the ambitious journalist who threatens the all-boys club in the newsroom. Anchorman sometimes almost forgets it's in the 70s, but we do get the inevitable reference to the Starland Vocal Band.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
You guys have it, I think.
Afternoon delight.
Always a welcome presence, Fred Willard. He's a news producer.
But you and I are mature adults. We've both seen our share of pornographic materials. Oh, you never have? Of course you haven't. How stupid of me. Neither have I. I was just speaking in generalities. Right, I'll stop by the school a little later, Sister Margaret.
I love the off-mic sniping between Ron and Veronica, as well as the narration for this movie, which comes from Bill Curtis, none other than Bill Curtis. Anchorman veers from mild satire to outright farce. It has no interest in sticking to a cohesive storyline, or it doesn't really want to say anything remotely important about the state of TV news in the 70s. It just wants to make us laugh. Will Ferrell, he's a gigantic comedy puppy dog. He'll do anything to please us, and it usually works. Thumbs up for me.
You know, I liked it too. I liked it because it was funny. And I also liked it because it made some interesting little points about television news. For example,
I don't know. Did it really?
The promos that make the television news team look like a happy family, as if these people live together and kind of spend all their time being perfectly groomed and smiling at each other and nodding at their witticisms. That was funny. And then the stories they have to cover, you know, like the water skiing squirrel and the pregnant panda.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that kind of stuff is still around.
Panda Watch, you know, where it's like day 47 of mingling and being pregnant.
To come out, you know. It's a very funny movie.
Yeah,
the one thing I didn't think really worked was the strange brawl involving all of the local anchor teams.
Yeah, that
weird fantasy.
Yeah, there were a couple of scenes in this movie where I thought, well, this must be a fantasy sequence or a dream sequence, and they weren't, and they should have been. But, you know, a lot of hit and miss, but I mean, I laughed out loud a lot.
It's a funny film. Okay, our next movie is Before Sunset, a sequel to the 1995 film in which a young American man and a young French woman meet in Vienna and spend a long night talking about the meaning of life while they're falling a little bit in love. Played by Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, they promised to meet again a year later, but now 9 years have passed. He's written a bestseller about their one night together, and she materializes at a book signing in Paris so that their conversation begins again.
Do I look any different? I do.
I'd have to see you naked.
What?
No, I'm sorry.
In a rush of words, both cautious and risky, they wonder if perhaps that night in Vienna was a sign that they really were meant for one another.
In the months leading up to my wedding, okay, I was thinking about you all the time. I mean, even on my way there, I'm in the car, and a buddy of mine is driving me downtown, and I'm staring out the window, and I think I see you.
Before Sunset takes place almost literally in real time. There are no breaks between the beginning of the movie and the end in terms of the continuity. Like My Dinner with Andre, it's basically one long conversation, an exhilarating, stimulating, thoughtful conversation. Director Richard Linklater co-wrote the movie with Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, and the screenplay is literate, realistic, thoughtful, and subtle in the way the characters circle one another, trying to figure out what they're really up to. This is a better movie than Before Sunrise. It's more urgent, smarter, wiser about life, And you could say the same thing about the characters. They're a little older now. Thumbs up.
I agree. I think it is a better movie because the characters are more interesting, and Hawk and Delpy each contributed quite a bit to the screenplay, and it's beautiful writing, wonderful acting, and you're so right about Linklater's direction. At first you're thinking, okay, this is just a dialogue movie. They're talking, but you realize you're seeing a lot of Paris in this film as they walk and they get on that boat and they get to her apartment, and the camera moves around with such grace and style and subtlety where it doesn't take you away from what they're saying and yet keeps you involved with what's happening on the screen. So really, top-notch work here.
You know, this movie probably would have been impossible without actors who were very, very smart
and natural,
very literate and very natural. This is very, very good acting, even though it seems to be just two people having a conversation.
Yeah, in lesser hands it would have been maybe a disaster. And I love sequels like this and Barbarian Invasions that catch up with characters 10 or 15 years down the line. I'd like to see these guys 10 years from now.
I was going to say that I keep doing this every 10 years, like the 7 Up series.
That'd be wonderful. Okay, our next movie is The Lovely, a biography of the great Cole Porter that has a lot more of an true Hollywood story feel than Night and Day. The sanitized version of Porter's life starring Cary Grant. This film doesn't just hint at Porter's sexuality. In fact, his love life is given as much screen time as his timeless music. I thought Kevin Kline was wonderful as the witty, wisecracking Porter, and Ashley Judd gives one of her best performances as Porter's adoring and understanding to a fault wife, Linda.
But I have other interests. Interests, the pursuit of which some people might find cruel to you.
You mean men?
Yes, men.
Let's just say you like them more than I do.
Some of Porter's most enduring hits are interpreted by an interesting array of pop stars, including Robbie Williams, Elvis Costello, Sheryl Crow, and Alanis Morissette. Director Irwin Winkler has a veteran's appreciation for show business, and he confidently chronicles Porter's rise to fame and fortune and his physical and career setbacks. In the end, we feel that Cole Porter never quite loved anybody as much as the characters in his songs loved one another. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up for me, too. I love this movie. You know, what's interesting is it's often the case in musical biopics that they try to say, oh, the songs really reflect a life. But in Cole Porter's case, apparently they really did. And if you listen to these lyrics, people heard them at the time as heterosexual in orientation, but actually they could also be seen as gay in orientation. And it's interesting how every song then begins to sound a little bit ambiguous and more complicated than you thought.
You know, it's interesting because it's almost like they're single entendre when you hear the lyrics now, but you think, you know, there was a certain sadness behind Cole Porter's life because he could never really come out of the closet, so he did all this music and he had this double life going on.
I think he really did love Linda, and she certainly loved him, and they managed this relationship despite all of the complications and all of the pain.
And you know, it was just so good to see Ashley Judd in a role where she didn't have a gun in her hand or a knife to her throat to remind us what a good actress she is.
She is very good in this.
Okay, when we come back, Robert Redford and Willem Dafoe face off in The Clearing, plus another look at Spider-Man 2 and Fahrenheit 9/11.
This is an impressive crowd.
They come to every game, every city. They must have Capital One no-hassle rewards.
With Capital One no-hassle rewards, free flights start at just 9,000 miles. Any airline, anytime, with no blackout dates, so you can fly free faster and more often. Capital One no-hassle rewards.
What's in your wallet?